Okay, so now we can check out the Jackass movie, Best and Last. I guess this is the 5th or 6th one, I think. Let me see. I think it's number 5. Pretty interesting. It's kind of strange that, like, Bam isn't there, and unfortunately, of course, Ryan Dunn, you know, but it's kind of weird. And it's weird because, like, this is supposed to mirror how the first movie is. It's, you know, and they started with a shopping cart. Now they ended it with a shopping cart. But it's kind of weird because, like, there's less people in it. I don't know. Anyways, I guess this movie is getting kind of good reviews. They say it's very gross and stuff or whatever. But that comes with what this is. So this is pretty cool. It's mostly kind of like nostalgic and stuff with a little bit of new stuff. Some people were a little like underwhelmed or something, or disappointed. I don't know, whatever. But he still had fun with it, so that's good. But yeah, so we can watch the trailer now.
Reminder, the stunts in this movie were performed by professionals.
Hi, I'm Wee Man.
I'm Bam Margera.
I'm Preston Lacey.
I'm Chris Pontius.
So for your safety and the protection of those around you,
I'm Dave England. I'm Danger Aaron. I'm Steve. I'm Ryan Dunn.
do not attempt any of the stunts you have just seen.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to the first day of our last film. What are you feeling? I'm sad.
Does it make you sad, Chris?
No, I'm not in touch with my emotions.
I would like to introduce you to our new cast member, Larry!
Nice to meet you all. Big fans.
Oh my gosh, he got you!
Give me a bucket of water so I can throw it on Larry. 25 years and we haven't learned a goddamn thing. Can someone go get the shot collar for your penis? Poopy said he wants to try it.
Hi, I'm Poop.
You're taking it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Look pretty happy about it.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
High five. This is the escape room from hell. Start the game. I think we're moving to the next room.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
This jump is something like
You got it in the stomach pretty good. We are going to be making history today with the first robot prostate exam.
This is what Jackass looks like at 50. You see the finger on that thing?
That's not a finger. It's a claw.
Let's let it rip, baby.
So yeah, that's cool. Looks fun. Looks pretty awesome and stuff. It looks like it's gonna be more of like I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like if there's gonna be a presenter or something and be like, here, you know, remember this scene, you know, because there's also stuff in it though. An hour and a half, so that's interesting. Rated R, of course. So strange because like a lot of these people have developed like PTSD or like, you know, whatever issues from this. Like this Dave England, I think he's all messed up, and Pontius, oh no, whatever this guy is, Danger Aaron, yeah, right? They I think have the worst. They have like the worst, I think, PTSD and stuff. Cause this guy, I think Aaron was in the bear one. Remember when the bear comes in the room, and then what's the other one? This guy England, I think he got in something happened to him. I don't know, but they have a crazy PTSD. I think they said that or something, whatever, which is I don't know. I mean, the other part of this movie is like, it's such a wild series. Like, I guess you could almost consider it like snuff in a way, because it's entertainment, but real. But, you know, snuff is more murder, I think. I don't know if unless it's just real in general. But unless, like, yeah, snuff is this kind of anything that's real. I thought it was specifically murder, but But yeah, I feel like this is technically like a snuff, a subgenre or whatever of snuff or something like that, maybe. Then they tags our comedy documentary, follows the Jackass crew as they perform their final series of dangerous stunts and pranks, marking the end of the franchise. I was thinking that, like, I think they should do the 0.5 thing because they're not going to do a 0.5 like the first one, but I feel like they should have done a 0.5 just for the fans and for the culture or whatever, you know what I mean, for the franchise. And they can make a little bit extra money, but they can also do maybe a little bit of extra stuff that they didn't put into this movie. I am really surprised that it's an hour and 32 minutes. I mean, that is really awesome, you know? It's like not too much, not too, I mean, I guess you could consider it too little, but an hour and a half is a good amount of time, and it forces you to get to the stuff quicker, I would say. 6.8 stars so far, directed by Jeff Tremaine. We could check him out and see what else they're doing, because maybe they're gonna have, maybe they've announced it on here of like what the next one's gonna be. I feel like Johnny Knoxville is almost old enough that he could play Irving Zisman or whatever his name is from Bad Grandpa. Irving, I forgot his name. I think, you know, which is pretty hilarious. He doesn't need much makeup anymore, which would make it way easier. He could almost just do Bad Grandpa for the rest of his life, you know? And then from that, he could, you know, do movies, or do, even reboot Jackass with a new cast or something, and he's like the OG guy or something, you know? But yeah, I don't know, that could be kind of cool. Let's see what else we're gonna do. So, number 5, so yeah, this is number 5. Jackass Best and Last, concept by, and then Jackass the podcast. So that's what they're gonna kind of do. You know what? Yeah, now that is a good idea. That if Johnny Knoxville doesn't want to do a movie or be, you know, Irving or the Bad Grandpa, he can just do this, and then, yeah, which is kind of similar to just doing one thing that can kind of suit where he is in his life. So that's good. But this, I mean, think about, like, that's crazy. They're gonna have so much to talk about. Look at that. Okay, so there you go. So that's what he's gonna do. So he's basically set for the next phase of this whole thing. So that's really awesome. Wow, this is gonna be so funny. This is gonna be pretty cool. I think that, like, this is gonna be hilarious. They're gonna have so much to talk about. And of course, the first one they have Steve-O on. I mean, as like the premiere, I guess. That is gonna be so cool. This is a good idea. Do you know how? And they get to show all the footage. I bet you they have so much unseen footage, and Steve-O does too. Wow, this could be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I guess that it would have to be a visual one. I don't know about listening to it. You'd have to actually sit down and watch it, which they should also make it like a TV show, like a movie, so it like a show more, so that, because it is kind of showy, sort of. I don't know if they're gonna do stunts in the studio or whatever, you know, and all that, and pranks, but unless it's more of like they've agreed, like, hey, we're no more prank stuff, no more of that, that's only in the movie, we're done with all of that. Unless they're still friends and they're still gonna mess with each other, you know, that's different. Oh yeah, I don't know, but Johnny Knoxville can't get any more concussions. He is at such a point that he is so fragile that they can't really do much to him or whatever. You know what I mean? They can't prank him and push him down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So they have to go light on the pranks to him, as well as, like, he is such an OG. The stuff he's done on his own, just willingly doing stuff. He is a real daredevil. Like, he has, I don't know, I guess really no fear if you think about it. And then Steve-O too, the stuff that he's done, like, they're both the most hardcore on the show. I guess besides Ryan and Bam, of course, I guess. Yeah, they were all pretty, I don't know, I feel like Johnny Knoxville is the most gnarliest. the stuff he's done in comparison, you know, I guess it would be Johnny Knoxville, then Steve-O, then Bam. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, I think the show is going to be really cool. That's great. It's like they're only at 3 episodes so far, so it just kind of started. Oh my god, I think this is going to be funny. I didn't even know they're doing this. I'm going to look this up and subscribe to it after and out all that. So that's pretty much it. So Jeff Tremaine doesn't do anything else? Oh, here we go. Let's see. No, these are all old. Oh, he really doesn't. So he's gonna do this podcast thing. So that's his new thing. So Jeff Tremaine is basically done with making movies? I mean, for now at least. What else is he gonna do? What has he done? Mostly Jackass stuff. Rob Dyrdek stuff, so MTV related. So he works for MTV or whatever. So he might even be under contract for them. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they could do. I don't know what the. Oh, so this might be ridiculousness. Might be canceled. They could revive some things if they wanted to. This Jackass podcast is gonna be like. This is gonna hold over for a long time. They're gonna. I think there's a lot of stories that if they do 8, I don't know. Are they gonna do an episode every week forever? Or are they gonna do like 20 episodes like a season and then do sections? Because they could run out of stuff to talk about maybe. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, we'll see. So that's good that Jeff Tremaine is working on that. This is pretty funny. Jason MikeyVanAlan is like actually a writer on the show. There must be some structure to these things, right? There must be some sort of like planning, and I wonder if there is a script and storyboarding. Maybe there is. You know, like I don't know. I'm sure there kind of isn't. I'm sure there's just like, okay, you guys are gonna stand there. The prank is gonna go here. And then we want Johnny here, and we're gonna have a camera there and here and whatever. And here's your spaces to stay within and all that. And then go. And that's it? You know, because it's not really a movie. They would cut if something happens, right? If something starts happening that's not part of the script or the plan, they'd probably cut it. Other than that, I feel like the cameras would just keep rolling, you know? And the editing must be so easy. There's not much to cut out. There's not, I mean, if you do in real time camera switching, you don't have to really edit later at all. You know, just use OBS, switch in real time, and no editing because it's like long take, you know? There's, it's like a long take skit or whatever, you know? Let's see what else. Well, this is this Jason MikeyVanAlan. So he's actually written some stuff. So, wow, I didn't know that. Maybe he is like a writer and everything. Oh, that's an actor. Well, he's written 7 things though, but this is mostly for this. So do you think he's tasked at doing that, or he good at that? Because concepts by. So what, he comes up with the ideas or something? So he must text Johnny and he's like, hey, I got another one. I have another one. I have one where that big guy can be King Kong and we're going to fly RC planes around him. Right? Whatever. And he gets to be the damsel in distress, I think. So maybe, you know, maybe a lot of these ideas are MikeyVan's ideas. That's funny. I never really thought about that. Upcoming for him is Chronological. Ethan is, Spinal Tap 2. That's funny. And then Average Bloke. Yeah, well, that's pretty hilarious that he is like pretty, like also skilled in that other way. I mean, I think, I'm pretty sure Steve-O does editing, doesn't he? I think he does stuff like that. And then Tori Bellecci, and then JP, man, I guess. Let's see. So this guy's done, Model Maker. Wow, visual effects. Holy crap, that's cool. Van Helsing, Model Maker. Peter Pan, Model Maker. Industrial Light and Magic? Or ILM? I don't know what that is. Model Maker. Wow. For Galaxy Quest? Oh, that's so cool. And then actors. He's been in Motor Mythbusters, Creature Features, The Orville. That show's kind of funny. One episode. And then R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. And then Art Department, Scooby-Doo Set Designer, and Sphere Carpenter. Wow, he must have started as that. Look at that. He went from here to here to here to here. Wow, there you go. That's a hopeful story for upcoming actors and stuff. Keith Blackman is the third guy. He's more in the art. So production designer. So he sets up what the looks are and everything in the sets and all that, whatever. So he's in charge of that. So that's cool. And then the stars are the usual. Pretty cool. Bam did not show up for, I think, a legitimate reason, but his parents went instead. So that's good, because I feel like with all the stuff recently, like it would have been better for him to go or whatever. And if he didn't go and the parents didn't go, I think it would have caused more, like bad blood or hatred or whatever, add more beef to each other, or to the beef, really. Brian Dunn. Wow. I hope that'd be cool if they put some unseen footage of him. Then this Poopy's guy's in it. Zach Holmes, he is so big. So big. It's so wild. Like, I don't know. Paul Walter Hauser is in it. That's so funny. Adam Ray is in it. That's cool. Then here is the summary. Reviewers say Jackass best and last delivers genuine laughs and nostalgic appeal for longtime fans, celebrating over 2 decades of cultural impact. However, the film faces heavy criticism for recycling 60 to 70% old footage from previous entries. Wow, that's weird. Creating an uneven theatrical experience. Opinions are sharply divided on whether it provides a satisfying farewell, with some calling it perfection, while others finding it disappointing and unworthy as a finale better suited for streaming than theaters. Wow. Well, what do you think about that? I mean, interesting. I think it's the fact that, like, they didn't trick you best and last. So it wasn't really a trick. So, I mean, should people be that offended then? I mean, they didn't trick you. It says in the title, best and last, meaning probably the best of what they've done and last things that we couldn't include, and something, I don't know. So yeah, but I don't know. But, it saves, like, the thing is this, if somebody watched all 4 of them and then this one, then you went to go see it, I could see being mad, like, we just saw all of this again. I get that, but, it does help you because now you don't have to go back and watch those movies anymore. You literally, you go to this one and it has all the old ones in it, plus the new one, sort of, and there, it saves you time of having to go back and watch the old ones. So maybe it screwed them over because now you're not going to go watch them on streaming now. They just lost another possible view and another $15. So yeah, we can now check out some actual reviews for this. Looks like there are 49 reviews. Yeah, we could check out, this one. So first one is 10 out of 10, as good a send-off as any. Giving this movie a 10 out of 10 might seem a little heavy-handed, but given the circumstances of everything, I thought this was a great send-off for one of the great cultural bastions of the American 21st century. Having grown up with the Jackass show and movies, CKY videos, Viva La Bam, Wild Boys, etc., this movie mixed in older, less popular footage with newer stuff and it made for a great viewing experience. A mix of nostalgia and awe at seeing the veteran cast still going for it. Okay, well, that's good. The spirit of Jackass was as strong as ever with this final installment. The ending credits is also definitely a mandatory viewing experience. Okay, that's good. That's probably going to be hilarious. 2 out of 10, more old clips than new stunts. I'll start by saying that I love Jackass, and I've been a fan since the early MTV days, but what the hell is this? Seriously, how in the world is this approaching 7 stars? There's so many old clips, I thought we were being pranked or something. That's funny. Small nods to the best stunts or pranks would be understandable, but they make up the overwhelming majority of the movie, and the new stunts just seem lazy and centered around Steve-O's butthole. It feels so forced, and it wasn't even that funny. I think this was a cash grab and a way to cut some checks to BAM as an act of contrition for the falling out they've had. I flat out hated this installment. It wasn't worthy of being a theater release. It deserved less than the Jackass 2.5 treatment. So I think this was a cash grab and a way to cut some checks to BAM. I don't know, maybe. Is BAM even in it? That's the thing. Is there any I know he's not in it, but is there any footage in it? I mean, yeah, I guess there would technically be, but I mean, like, I don't know. But he couldn't even have been. Oh yeah, that was a thing. I think they started with it, right? Yeah, he wasn't there, so they couldn't have filmed anything, anyways. You know, that's so weird. I don't know. Whatever. Well, yeah, more old clips than new stunts. The next one is 7 out of 10, a fitting farewell. I felt a sense of relief as the credits rolled. Not so much for myself, but for the entire Jackass cast, especially the older members, knowing they'll finally be able to spare their bodies from even more punishment after decades of performing reckless, painful stunts. It also feels like the right time as they're all getting older. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. I guess can't disagree, really. Since they probably couldn't pull together enough new material to fill an entire feature, the film dips into the archives and revisits some of the series' greatest hits. I don't understand that because, like, they could, though. They could have come up with new stuff, I guess. Like, there's a lot of, you know, they could have parodied, like, you know, things from movies recently and made it a prank version of it or something. Let's see. So as someone who didn't really watch the show growing up, I didn't mind this approach since many of the clips were new to me. See, okay. There's a high chance that you haven't seen everything then. Well, not everyone's seen the show, I guess. I don't know. Well, I can understand why longtime fans might be disappointed by the recycled footage, though. The retrospective angle works because it highlights a contrast between their younger selves and who they've become over the past few decades. So what, there's like side interviews and they go, remember that one time? Or it's like Family Guy with the... They should have done that. They could have done a movie and then it's cutaway gags and it shows the clips of those or something. That would have been kind of funny. Remember that time we had we went into this mousetrap alley? Oh yeah. And then they show it and then they cut back. Anyway, what's for dinner? And then they cook dinner. And then there's a plot, there's like a story, but they use the Jackass clips as like memory or whatever, you know, Family Guy, the cutaway gags, basically. Yeah, so there are a handful of new stunts with a more modern feel, but, with the robot. But this film is less about topping what came before and more about enjoying one final ride with the cast and giving them a proper send-off. Well, that's interesting. I really feel like I don't know, the stuff with BAM, I would have tricked him and gotten him somewhere and then done a prank and filmed it, and before he knows it, it's done, and we put that in the movie. So at least he's part of it, you know? Like, I don't know, or something, because, like, I would have forced them to go to this just to be in it for a second, you know? Trick him, have him walk through, film him, he gets mad and leaves. At least he's there, you know? Because he just, you know, hated or loved, whatever that is, you know, the situation, he still should have been there because he's part of Jackass. So it is 1 out of 10, not the bang we expected, a missed send-off. As longtime fans of Jackass the movie, and the franchise as a whole, this installment was a major disappointment. I expected this series to go with a bang, something raw, chaotic, and genuinely funny, not a film weighed down by cheesy effects and overproduced moments. What made Jackass great was its authenticity, a mix of outrageous new stunts, unseen archival clips, and an unmistakable chemistry between the crew. Instead, this felt overly staged and lacking the spontaneity that defined our earlier entries. There was also a noticeable absence of meaningful tributes or footage of the late Ryan Dunn. Well, that might be for a reason, which longtime fans would have deeply appreciated. even the core elements felt missing. There was little to no skateboarding, no BMX clips, and none of the extended crew or familiar faces who made appearances over the years. It felt stripped down in all the wrong ways. The inclusion of Rachel also felt out of place, simply adopting the aesthetic wearing Thrasher and Vans. Oh, okay, well, doesn't automatically align someone with the culture or spirit that Jackass built over decades. See, that's the thing. There really is this sort of culture thing, you know, and and that's just how it is. The casting choice didn't resonate and felt disconnected from what fans expect from the group. Oh, yeah, the casting choice. So what? They got like a young, like a Gen Z or a millennial or some whatever person to kind of look like the aesthetic of this or whatever, rather than like this person should have been voted into the group or whatever, you know, like Odd Future with Lou. He was in the crowd and he kept showing up and showing up and showing up to every show, I think. And then ASAP or one of them said, hey, bring this guy up here. This guy's come to every show. And then he joined it. And that was organic and natural. That's just a fan, you know what I mean? Like that. This doesn't seem like that. This should have been somebody who, you know, Rachel's been to every premiere. She's met all the actors. She's been on the set of the show or somehow. She's been to every movie. She's hung out with Jeff Tremaine. The fathers are friends. I don't know, something. And then now, and she just loves Jackass. Like she eats and breathes it. And they put her in the movie and bam. Now that is more, more, you know, natural and stuff. Ultimately, it's disappointing that more effort seemed to go into promoting the film than into crafting something worthy of the Jackass legacy. This should have been a memorable send-off, but instead it feels like a missed opportunity. Wow, 9 out of 10 creates an awesome cinema atmosphere. 3 out of 10 lazy and unnecessary, not only because of old footage. 7 out of 10 not big, not clever, often hilarious. 8 out of 10 a lovely finale. 6 out of 10 nostalgic send-off, even if it doesn't quite reach the heights of the previous entries in the series. 8 out of 10 end of the road maybe. 3 out of 10 complete money grab. Okay, maybe we'll read this one. If you grew up watching CKY and Jackass, there's no point to seeing this movie. About 70% of it is just old footage from past Jackass movies. Basically, for every 4 or 5 old clips, you get one new clip, most of which lackluster. There's basically zero reason for the new cast since a majority of them didn't do anything. Just go on YouTube and watch Jackass highlights and you'll be good. Wow, alright, and then 1 out of 10 Jackass Butthole Edition. Wow, yeah, that's weird. I heard there's a lot of poop stuff in it too, but yeah, so that's all the IMDb reviews. Now we'll check out Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so these are the Rotten Tomatoes for Jackass Best and Last. It is at an 88% from the critics and 85% from the audience. Wow. So that's interesting. So it's not bad. It's not performing well though. It's at, what is it at? Let me check really quick. I think it said it's at 8 million. Let me refresh this. Yeah, it's at 8 million. That's not, let me see, hold on. 8 million, 1 million international overseas, and 10 million total. It was a $20 million film. So that's weird that it's not doing better. I guess because of what it is. It's really adult, it's really gross, it's really dirty, immature, whatever you want to say. So it's not for everyone. So that's probably why. This is probably everybody who's gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, I don't think it's just such a, I guess, niche kind of a topic, you know, to be like what I was saying, like a subgenre of snuff, because it is kind of real in a way, and it's really dirty, and not a lot of people are into that. So I don't know, but I think that the main core of the audience, whatever, has seen that. I don't think you can get new people to this. I think that's another thing. I don't think it's easy to get new fans on board. You know, you'd have to really select somebody and be like, oh, you would like Jackass, you know, that type of stuff. But I don't think it's like everybody loves Jackass. It's like, you know, a lot of people aren't going to watch it. Critics reviews, Bilgi Iberi from New York Magazine / Vulture said, so what if some of the new, gave it 1 tomato. So what if some of the new crew members introduced in the previous movie don't have much to do this time around? Jackass Best and Last recaptures the communion, and maybe that's all that matters. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not a big deal, you know? Maybe those reviews are just a few of them who were disappointed. Maybe the hardcore fans, you know? You gotta think about that. The audience, and then there's the real hardcore fans, you know what I mean? But they are probably, like, they're probably the ones having, like, an issue, I guess. Or, you know what I mean? And not satisfied and all that. Which I get, I can understand that, so... Ed Potton, I guess from the Times in UK, gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying it's incentive in a totally crass way and also surprisingly poignant. That's funny. And then Katie Walsh from the Tribune News Service gave it 4 out of 4 tomatoes, saying it is also in my heart the best Jackass movie because it best expresses the true and meaning of Jackass, which is, of course, friendship. Friendship and doing ill-advised things with butts. That's funny. I like that. That's a good review. Dustin Rowles from Pahiba gave it a tomato, saying, granted, I still laughed a lot. I'm only human, but I cringe with pity almost as much as I laughed. And I'm glad that this is the last one. That's funny. Yeah, well, yeah, that's good, I guess. And then Alchi Rengifo from Entertainment Voice gave it a tomato, saying a twisted tradition that could still be linked to the days of Buster Keaton and also Evel Knievel. While celebrating the sheer need to shock, they genuinely loved doing it, and we sense it will be hard to walk away. Age can rarely tame a truly wild heart. I mean, I heard that Johnny Knoxville cried a lot. I'm sure it's pretty emotional for him. So yeah, that's good though. It's really cool that he has like such a love for it, you know. But yeah, Ruben Romero Santos from Cinemania in Spain gave it 3 out of 5 tomatoes, saying more disgusting, more revolting, much more nostalgic. 100% Jackass. That is really good to hear. That's good. That's funny. He did give it 3 out of 5 though. And the audience reviews, Finns gave it 5 stars, saying it truly is one of the best movies to watch with friends and family this summer. CB Thompson gave it 4 stars, saying bittersweet send-off and yet funny as hell, as all hell. Yolanda gave it 5 stars, saying memorable, nostalgic, gonna miss these guys. They were a core part of my childhood. Jenna gave it 5 stars, saying I like this movie. Since I've been a fan of theirs since the beginning, it was the perfect length for the type of movie. And something. Joshua gave it 3.5 stars, saying it felt shorter than the others. Honestly, Jackass movies. But it had me laughing, and that's all I really wanted. Matthew B gave it 4 stars, saying great way to wrap it all up. Thanks for the memories, fellas. Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, that's great. Looks like people are overall liking it. I'm not sure why it's not making a little bit more. Well, I guess I just said why. I think everybody who's seen it has seen it. Okay, so Jackass Best and Last. I guess I would have said it probably would have popped with 30 to 40 million out of its $20 million budget. But it has unfortunately made 10 million, half of that. So it unfortunately did flop. I guess this is probably the best they could do with the situation. Oh yeah, here they are. But here it is. Oh, it's actually $10 million budget. Okay. I searched it and it said 20. So it's actually 10. Wow, that is right on it. I don't know. That is right there. I guess it technically made it back. Maybe it did pop? Wow. I mean, I guess it barely technically popped. That means it honestly could make 20 million. It might end up with 15 to 20 million then at the end of its run. Wow, okay. I didn't know that. It said 20 million. So this might actually do better then. That is so smart. 10 million. Like, they must, that's smart. I mean, A24 is doing that. Whatever, Obsession and Backrooms cost 800,000 and 10 million, something like that. So, wow. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. I think maybe this movie popped? I guess. That's interesting. Well, maybe it popped, I guess, but it's like right there. I think it's gonna do okay then. I didn't know it was 10 million, so that's good. Yeah, I guess Jackass Best and Last popped with I mean here 8 million, but I guess it popped with 10 million overall, and it came in 4th place.